can't remember the last time I cried about someone I've never met. For lots of us, athletes can seem like superheroes, immortal warriors. So the death of Jose Fernandez still doesn't feel real. And I know many of you share the same sentiment. It's been 3 days since his death, 2 days of watching the Marlins play baseball with broken hearts, tears streaming down their faces while they ran across the bags. Today, the team joined scores of fans who gathered at Marlins Park in the Miami neighborhood of Little Havana for the funeral procession. Marlins players and personnel escorted a hearse carrying the body of Fernandez as hundreds of fans chanted, "Jose, Jose." Pedro Gomez is in Miami and attended the funeral procession earlier today, and now it's a public viewing. Pedro, there were a lot of emotional moments today, but can you describe to me the one that will forever stick with you?
You know, watching the Marlins players come out of the stadium, waiting for the hearse to show up, then, Jose's body inside, and how each one of them placed their hand on the car, and the drawn-out look of emotion in their face. And then it was expected that they were just going to go back into the stadium when the hearse started to pull away, and instead they wanted to walk next to it as it made its way down Fellow Ramirez Way, which is right next to the stadium, and making a left onto 16th and Avenue. And just to watch them not want to give up that hand on the car. They wanted to hold on to it. And I spoke to Jeff Francoeur, who's only been a Marlin for a few weeks. I spoke to Christian Yelich, who's been a Marlin his entire career and has known Jose Fernandez, and they both echoed the same sentiments. The fact that you just had to meet him for 5 minutes and you knew he was it. He was a magnetic, electric personality. Forget what he was on the mound. He was one of the absolute best on the mound, they said. But in terms of being a person, he was able to just always bridge people, bring them together. And that's what he did here in Miami, Diana. He was able to, conquer what is probably or arguably the most unique market in the United States because of the split in terms of English speaking and Spanish speaking, the Latins, the Americans. And this is somebody that was able to bridge both sides together without any problem. And just looking at the outpouring of love from the community today, it just underscores what a tremendous impact he had in his short time that he was here with the Marlins, just a little over 3 seasons.
Pedro, I can see some people behind you. The public viewing is taking place as we're talking here. Were you able to see his mother or grandmother, those two people that are clearly had been the most important people in his life?
I actually went inside just to pay my respects as well, and his mother Maritza was there, and I was able to speak with her for just a few moments, and I just said, obviously I offered my condolences, and she said, "I cannot believe the amount of outpouring emotion and love that we are witnessing." I mean, he's 24 years old, she said, and yet you'd think that he'd been here forever. The way that people are acting and the way that they've come out in support. And I said, "Well, how are you dealing with this?" And she said, she's very, very emotionally drained, obviously, and she said to me, "I'm just trying to answer the unanswerable." And it's just, it's really, really affected them. The mother, Maritza, the grandmother, Olga. Jose was an only child, and I think we all know the story that he saved her life when they were coming over the 4th time that they defected together, and they were making their way across the straits of Florida to get to the U.S. And in the middle of the night, he heard somebody fall over. He didn't know who it was. He jumped in to save whoever it was, and it ended up being his mother, Maritza. And, they got back in the boat and made their way to Florida. And just a tremendous story of will, and really underscores the type of person that Jose was, and, why this community is showing really the type of emotion that you really don't see ever. And this is like a diplomat or somebody just with years more to have done things is receiving. And they closed freeways today. They closed streets in the procession. It's just, I've never seen anything like this for a sports personality.
Pedro, I appreciate your insight, your observations. I know how difficult this time has been for you personally as a Cuban and also as a journalist that absolutely loves the game of baseball. Thank you for joining SportsCenter.
Thanks, Diana.
We'll be right back.